What's going on, everybody? It's Dan French here with the French Workbench podcast, streaming live here from Las Vegas. I got a full studio, a lot of people in here today with different perspectives. This is the most real and behind-the-scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs through on-job and education here in Las Vegas. Today we're going to talk with Carl about insurance. We talked about that. We're also going to give you an update on what's going on in the housing market. So I want to talk a lot about with Carl though on just the difference of insurance. I have a lot of people that come in and they ask for home insurance. They go, when do I get this process going? A lot of times it's, you know, deep into the contract position that they're in. Maybe they're, you know, don't know where to get started. So it's always like, Dan, you got any referrals? You got anybody that you can send me to? And it's like, well,
very often it's the last thing that people think about. They're so worried about the pricing in the house and everything. Like, it's like, oh crap, I need some insurance.
Do you ever see those old images? Like they got some stuff on Facebook too, and some old images of Las Vegas. Like you've seen it grow through the years. So you've seen this, right? Awesome. You've seen all these things and all these changes that's happened with Las Vegas over the years.
I was a runner downtown when Rainbow was a 2-lane dirt road.
You were a runner? Runner for what?
A lawyer.
Oh.
Downtown, yeah. You used to park in the First Interstate Bank building, or when it was First National Bank, just right now.
So how far did you see this expand out since you've been here? Like, where did it start, and now where have you seen it?
Crap, we used to go to Gold's Gym when it used to be Garrett's Furniture on Maryland Parkway and Fremont, and you can get from UNLV to there in 15-20 minutes. Yeah. Right down Maryland Parkway. Once upon a time. Yeah. Once upon a time, like where the airport is, nothing was on the other side of the airport.
Wasn't Meadows Mall the first strip mall, big strip mall?
The Boulevard was, and then when the
Meadows,
when the Meadows opened, then the Boulevard tried to expand.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, and then what happened? And then you got the fashion show downtown.
Yeah,
and then everything just went crazy.
Yeah. So you've seen a lot of the changes. You look at Las Vegas and you see how it's growing. Do you feel
expensive insurance?
Yeah, is that right? Yeah. That's what I was going to say. So why is there this stigma out there that car insurance is higher here than other states? And you probably have a good explanation.
Because it really is. Well, the lawyers are certainly one of them. Yeah, the lawyers, the combination of the underwriters that determine the pricing have no idea what it's like here. They're in Iowa or someplace else. So, they're saying, well, it's a 24-hour town. Everybody drinks. It's like, yeah, but those are the tourists. I mean, you get the taxis out there, the drunk driving. But mostly, I mean, Matt's pretty right.
Yeah,
pretty much right. There's no limit on the amount of money that they can pay. And so the lawyers are out there advertising right and left. But I'd like to think if you have good insurance, you don't need a lawyer. I mean, the fact of the matter is, upgrade your insurance so if something happens, you get paid.
That's not true. I mean, in my experience, okay, in my experience,
I think I'm going to jump on this.
That's why I changed it to in my experience, right? I had was State Farm. I kissed the back of a bumper, and a police officer saw it. Nothing, no damage to anyone. A couple teachers, Clark County School District teachers, cops saw it. Everyone was like, "We're good, everyone's good." And then, like 3 months later, I'm getting sued, and that's
the karma for the Jeep.
And there was no damage, right? And then State Farm settled, even though it was an absurd claim. And what happened was
it a parked car? I'm confused.
No, I could tell you some stories.
They settled, and then they dropped me because there was a claim.
Talk about those stories.
I got dropped too from State Farm.
Yeah.
State Farm. The captive insurance companies are kind of a pain in the ass. That's why. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's why I like being a broker, because I have 20 different companies. So if State Farm's going to screw you like that, then you call me. You don't have to call 100 different people to find out, what your insurance
One of my
rate is.
sisters
Farm it all out.
What I'm saying is,
got in an accident. I got dropped.
With the legal part, that's the frivolity of like lawsuits, and like I know some personal injury attorneys, and like they have like Harris Law Firm is probably the biggest one in town. They probably have like I don't know how many few thousand active cases, but they just throw paper at it, and then the attorneys take some money. Most claims are just cut and dry, but the attorneys will just drag it out and take their cut.
It's true, they take about 40%.
Yeah.
But the deal is, listen, just the other day, $10,000 claim, no damage to the vehicle. So it was all personal injury claim. So you can't
pain and suffering.
You cannot tell me that I hit you in the bumper $10,000 worth and there's no damage to your car, but your neck hurts that much.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just people doing it, and it's cheaper to settle than it is.
You drag it out.
So is it really like, hey, my neck got twisted and I'm calling? You know what I mean? Like, hey,
always comes in with
I feel a little twitch.
It is now.
You know what I mean?
It is now. When the market's down or when things happen bad, those claims go sky high. Yeah. It's like, soft muscle injury. Yeah,
and it's like, and then they go through this like whole massaging thing that really doesn't do anything. It's just like, hey, go to see my massager because, right?
So my friend does like financing for, it's called legal loans. So he lends people money so they can hold out longer and settle for a higher amount on their case.
Oh, wow.
And they're all in cahoots, like the chiropractors, the surgeons.
I agree.
Like, it's all a thing where you go into the system.
Is this a conversation you're supposed to have on YouTube?
No.
No, I don't know. I mean, listen.
Different in cahoots.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Hey, we're giving it real, man. We're telling you how it is.
What-
Like, you can like it or not, but that's exactly what happens.
That's the reality. That's why the insurance is so high. One of the reasons.
Right. But
I mean,
it
you
doesn't
walk
have
in
to involve an attorney. Right? It doesn't.
You're right.
They did this $10,000 claim without an attorney because the insurance company just wanted to settle. And when things are bad and unemployment's high and people have the time and people have the money, everything goes sky high.
What's going on with the deductibles? What happens with like how people really get into finding the right insurance company and how would they seek you out? So,
well, you can seek me out real easy. It's online. You can get
On
my
Facebook.
information anywhere. Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, anywhere. We're trying to oversaturate the market as much as we can. We even have some bad television commercials out there on 85 and.
Hey, man, but you know what? You got to put it out there. It's branding.
But here's most people. What we found out throughout the years is most people are very price sensitive. You know, they'll say $50, but once they get to know the agent, their loyalty is more to the agent than to the company. So if you have a bunch of different companies. And somebody says, "Hey, I call them. I go, look, we did it with you. You didn't like your rate. You were unhappy. You called us up.
Damn,
I
you saying you're cheap?
upset. It was
a 45-minute phone call.
Yes, I was upset.
Yeah.
So,
but we made it better because
Yes.
we have a bunch of different companies. So
What did you
got a
do?
better rate.
Yo,
okay,
what's your
so
Something
What
happened.
happened?
Something happened.
something happened, and I'll just kind of go in a little bit of a detail. But basically, we had two cars.
You know,
and
when it
they're-
starts with
So
but
what happened
basically.
was-
And
Once upon a
so
time.
we have two cars that were really good cars, right? They're
Yeah.
nice cars. And
Yeah.
so what ended up happening was
Why do I feel like
one
this
of the
story is
cars
just getting bad?
was in park and somehow it went out of park and hit the other car.
Oh, no.
What?
And I'm sitting there and it really
your
did some
driveway?
damage. But
In your
yeah,
driveway?
in the driveway.
Okay,
And
wait a minute. And
Go
no
ahead.
one was
Any out-
driving the car?
no, it was a ghost driver.
Now listen. Look
Popped
at me.
out of
I'm
park.
switching my thing on. Was there alcohol involved?
No. I would be, listen, I would
believe you.
probably be okay with
I
that.
actually have a lie detector,
Yeah.
and you're telling the truth.
Yes. And so I'm telling you right now. So check this out.
Okay,
My
well-
insurance
Why did I not buy this? Okay.
went up,
Insurance doubled almost.
doubled, and I was so pissed off. I really was. Like I was like, you know what?
Because there wasn't alcohol involved. You'd been much saner if there was.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If I could at least say, well, at least there's a reason, right? And at this
People
point,
have run into their garage. And they're,
well, I didn't do that. I
No,
mean, we
no,
just
but
let
I'm
the
saying
cars
there
run into
wasn't-
each other.
yeah, they just kinda-
I've done that.
Here, you guys just. Oh, okay.
No, but it
into
was
their
just it was.
mother-in-law in the driveway.
It's the problem is that they were nice cars that when they hit, obviously it's expensive to fix those nice cars. So I think it was more expensive, and then it really raised it because is it true that the cost of when you get into an accident actually increases quite a bit, right?
Oh yeah, it's twice as expensive to replace the car parts than it is to buy a car new.
Yeah.
So why not just give them a check?
Well, that's what they do now. I mean, if they total it out. So in his particular situation, he lost the no claim discount. He lost the.
I lost
Dan,
my
what are
life.
you doing? What's going on in your
No,
household?
then all of a
Like-
sudden, yeah, then all of a sudden he had this amount of money that they paid out, so they increased the rate to try and get it back. But we found another company that was much cheaper that way. The stupidity of it is like I'm not going to name any companies like Travelers, who I had a homeowners insurance policy with.
Oh, I knew somebody had that.
Who there was a fire
Yes.
and there was a giant claim on it, and all of a sudden they canceled these people instead of gently. If you raise the rate a little bit and you take care of these people, it's customer service. We're all in customer service.
Yeah.
If you take care of your client and you explain what's going on, you'll get that money back eventually.
100.
But if you just decide to cancel it now, we don't want you because you're a higher risk. The stupidity of it is beyond me. How do you just say, okay, we'll take care of you, we'll pay $100,000, or we'll fix your car for $25,000, but we don't want you around anymore?
Yeah.
It's like if they raised him a little bit, just enough, he'd
would've
understand
stayed-
that.
No, of course.
And he'd have stayed with them.
So you look at Las Vegas, right? And we're talking about accidents, and we're going to talk about home insurance because it does coincide with each other.
That's screwed up.
Yeah, it is. It is very much. And then, so the premiums here, is it because we're a 24-hour town? I mean, is that really, because I hear that a lot.
That's the excuse they give, but I think it's just because so much money is paid out. They have so many variables that they put into the formula before they figure it out, and a lot of it is based on zip code. Like if there's more claims in 014 or 122.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why when I get a
way better
call,
rate in Boulder City than you can here, and it's still Nevada. And,
Really?
Mesquite, very cheap.
Huh.
Or even with homeowners insurance, zip codes vary according to the claims in that particular area. Okay, so like if you have a series of rainstorms or hailstorms in that particular area and there's a lot of roof damage, the next year, anybody in that zip code, you're going to see an increase.
That makes sense.
Even in California right now, with all those fires going on out there, we're going to get hit big time. Because as capitalistic as you think insurance is, it's really socialism at its best because we all pay into one big pile.
So we pay for people's bad things that happen, basically.
They all got to make money, right? They all got to make money. So the bigger the claim, the more everybody else has to pay for it because they can't afford that. I mean,
Oh, wow.
yeah, they can't afford that.
So it matters where you live then.
It matters where you live. Right now, with the price of wood, what it is,
Yes, we
everybody's
need to
going to get bumped a little bit up. Actually, house insurance here is pretty inexpensive compared to other places.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Texas, Florida, it's miserable. California, you have to get separate earthquake in California, and it's almost more expensive sometimes than your mortgage payment, depending on where you are.
Right.
Oh, wow.
But the afterthought for people when they're generally getting their mortgage and everything else is insurance. It's usually when the mortgage person or the escrow person looks at them and goes, okay, so how much are you going to pay for insurance? Because we have to figure this into what your monthly is going to be, and they're hoping it's $50, $60,
Right.
but depending on the square footage of the house or the location of the house, and how if the house was built in the 80s, you're going to get spiked. Piping, right? The PVC piping.
Yes.
Right? The water that they used to water the grass with, if they have bushes against the house, you could see all that deteriorate.
So it goes back to like what is the cost to rebuild the home? That's what it always comes down to, right?
And you have to remember the slab doesn't burn and the property's not going to burn. Okay, so if you're rebuilding the house, it's a rebuilding cost, not a market value. So the market right now is going through the roof, but the rebuilding cost is not what the market value is.
So a newer home may have more or a higher premium.
Newer home is always less. Because there's less likely to be any damage.
I see. So it's almost like medical insurance, right? Or some, right?
Yeah, the newer you are, the cheaper it's going to be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Right?
Yeah, you can look at it that way. That's a good one.
So, yeah, I think, so if you're out there and let's say you're looking for like bundling, how much does bundling really support or help you?
I think bundling is just a marketing term, isn't it? It's
No,
just
it actually works.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like, the bundle.
Yeah. Well, Flo's a bit overwhelming with that kind of shit. But
Talk to us about this bundle.
I want to hear about the bundle.
okay, the original concept of bundling is based on customer service because if you have 3 lines of business with somebody, the odds of them going somewhere else is nil because nobody wants to pull their house, their car,
hassle to speak to another person.
Yeah, exactly.
You
So
know?
if I could bundle, right? If I could get
It's just
3
the
lines
term,
from you, Matt,
just the word.
and I pretty much got you for the next 10 years. All right.
Yeah,
But
but
what they have done, hold on one sec. So they have got some incentive though, because you can get 7% on the cars. I've seen 10% like right now Mercury insurance. Yeah, it is cheaper because there'll be a price for just the home, and there'll be a price for just the cars, and then there's a separate price for both. And it is, I mean, if you want to save $50, $100 a year, there's value.
There's
in
some
it.
value.
There was a
But the trick is, sometimes it doesn't work that way depending on your driving record.
Yeah.
Right? If you've got a couple accidents or you have a ticket or you have kids, my God, if you have a 16-year-old boy, forget it. Your price is going to be through the roof. But you might want to shop somewhere else because the discount you might get in a bundle is not what you would get if you did it separately.
Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio-only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.